Hello everyone and welcome to my channel MoreToChess. In this video I am going to explain a really interesting game between Magnus Carlsen and Arjun Erigaisi of the ongoing tournament Airthings Masters. So without delay, let's start the game. Magnus with white starts with the move knight f3, Arjun with black plays knight f6, c4, c5, and we have English opening on the board. Now Magnus played b3 in order to play bishop b2 covering some central squares. Now knight to c6, black is doing the same, bishop b2, d5 attacking c4 and covering the central squares, c takes d5, knight takes d5, knight to c3 attacking the knight, e5 gaining some space and also in order to develop the bishop, and queen to b1. This is a novelty here, a move that was never played before in this position, and this shows how prepared Magnus Carlsen is for this particular opening variation and how he surprises his opponents. Now the threat is knight takes e5, knight takes e5 and then queen to e4, attacking this knight twice and this knight once, and you got back your piece with a pawn. Instead of queen b1, the most popular move here is e3, and the variation goes like knight takes c3, bishop takes c3, bishop d6, and both sides have equal chances. But Magnus played queen to b1. Now Arjun played bishop to e7, developing the bishop, ready to castle. And now knight cross e5 does not work here, because after knight takes e5, knight takes e5, queen e4, and then knight takes e3. And now you cannot take the knight with the check. If you take the knight, then after knight d5, black is simply piece up. So here Magnus played e3, opening up this bishop. Now bishop to e6, bishop b5, pinning the knight, threatening to take the pawn, f6, defending it, castle, and knight takes c3. And Magnus played d takes c3 in order to play rook d1, taking the open file, queen to c1, preventing the doubling of the pawns. Now rook to d1, castle, and bishop to d3, attacking the h7 pawn with tempo. Now f5, hoping to play e4, forking the two pieces. Now Magnus played e4 himself, f4, and this move opens up some attacking chances for black with the move g5, g4. And now Magnus played bishop to b5 instantly again, and it's Engine's first choice. The idea is to start playing in the center in order to prevent any kind of attacking possibilities on the flank, with the idea of bishop takes c6, c4, and then targeting the weak e5 pawn. Now Arjun played bishop to f6 instantly and becomes defensive, protecting the e5 pawn in order to reply queen cross c6 after bishop cross c6 and still protecting the e5 pawn. Now bishop cross c6 happened, queen cross c6 and c4, attacking the e5 pawn twice, and we see Magnus is engaging black to play in the center. Now Arjun played queen to c7, defending it, and now Magnus has to find a way to continue playing in the center and attack e5 or take any initiative. But how? Can you guess the move? Yes, it's bishop to c3 with the idea to play queen b2 and start attacking the e5 pawn thrice. Now rook a to e8, Arjun is still defending it. Now queen to b2, attacking the e5 pawn 3 times, bishop to f7, protecting it, and now everything is again tied up, and it's a challenge for Magnus to how constantly find attacking possibility or do not let initiative slip away. So now you have to suggest any move. Yeah, it's of course rook to d3 in order to double up the rooks. Now rook to e7. Can you see how Arjun is still defending the position constantly? And rook a to d1, threatening to play rook d6, infiltrating into the enemy camp. Bishop to g6, attacking e4 pawn, and now it's Arjun's turn to do some attacking. Queen e2, defending it. Queen to c6, attacking e4 twice, and rook to d5. Now if you know the famous William Stein's quotes which says only the player with the initiative has the right to attack, and Magnus has clearly the initiative and the upper hand, attacking the e5 pawn 3 times. Now rook f to e8, protecting it 3 times. And now h3. It seems to be a waiting move, but it also has some strategic ideas of rerouting the knight via knight h2 to knight g4, bringing pieces more closer to the enemy camp, if you know the rule. Now a6, and Magnus played knight h2 in order to play knight to g4, and h5. It prevents knight to g4, but it also weakens black's king side, especially the g5 square. So Magnus retreats and played knight to f3, and Arjun played rook to e6, preventing rook d6, and again Magnus had to find something in order to make use of his initiative, and he played h4. Not the best move according to the engines, but certainly a good move, with the idea to play knight to g5, a very strong outpost for the knight. Now b5, and Magnus played knight to g5. It's a very strong outpost for the knight, threatening to take the rook. Now bishop takes g5. Instead of bishop take g5, rook to 6 e7 is also not a very good move because of rook d6, and Magnus has a very overwhelming position. Now after bishop takes g5, h cross g5, and bishop to f7. Now the defender of the f6 pawn has been traded off, and the idea is to infiltrate into black's camp and target the weakness while the major pieces are busy protecting the weak pawns. Now Magnus played queen to f3, b takes c4, b takes c4, and Arjun played g6. As it seems, it is a mistake, as it's lowered down the mobility of this white colored bishop. Now Magnus played bishop to a1, a strange looking move. Again, it's not the best move according to the engines, but it's not bad too, as both were in time trouble. Now the idea is to open up the mobility for the queen to wander over here. Now Arjun played rook 6 to e7, attacking the rook, rook to d6, attacking the queen, queen to a4, attacking both a2 and c4 pawn, and queen to b3 sorry. Now the purpose of the bishop to a1 is fulfilled, attacking this queen, queen takes b3, a takes b3, and now Magnus is attacking this pawn, and rook to e6, attacking the rook, rook cross e6, bishop cross e6, and the position is converted into king rook bishop versus king rook bishop endgame, where one can clearly see that white has easy targets than that of blacks. Now Magnus played rook to d6, attacking this a6 pawn. Instead of rook d6, if you are wondering about the move bishop cross e5 here, then it is a mistake because of bishop cross c4, b cross c4, rook cross e5, attacking g5 and e4 pawn, and suddenly the position seems upper hand for black practically, but positionally it is dead equal. That's why Magnus played rook to d6. Now king to f7, bishop c8 does not work because of rook cross g6 check, so king f7, bishop cross e5, and bishop to g4. It is a mistake. In this position, the best move is a5. It is still losing, and bishop cross c4 also did not work because of rook f6 check, king g8 only move, otherwise this bishop will be able to give checks and white will take the rook, take the bishop. So after rook cross g6 check, king f7, rook f6 check, king g8, bishop c3, bishop cross b3, bishop b6 attacking the bishop, bishop c4, and g6, and in this variation white is completely winning. But Arjun played here bishop g4. Now rook to f6 check, king to g7, and bishop to c3, threatening to take the pawn with the check. And you see Magnus is just an engine in the endgame. Now king to h7, and here Magnus played a rook f7 check. He did not even care about the free pawns here. King to g8 and rook to g7 check, a double attack, king f8, and now he plays f3, attacking the bishop, squeezing every bit of tempo here. He is in no hurry to take the g6 pawn. Now Arjun played rook to b8. He realized that playing normally will eventually lead to a loss, so he sacrificed his bishop in order to attain some counterplay. Now f takes g4, rook cross b3 attacking the bishop, g cross h5, the first choice of engine, Magnus sacrificing his bishop. What a player! Now Arjun played rook cross c3 and Magnus played h6. He converted the game into the winning rook endgame with an unstoppable h-pawn. Now Arjun played rook to g3 in order to play f3 attacking g2 pawn and also attacking g5 in order to play rook h5 and stopping this h-pawn as there is no other way. Now rook cross g6, white shuts off all the hopes by protecting g5, f3 attacking the g2 pawn twice, and h7. The h-pawn speaks for itself. Now rook cross g2 check, king to f1, rook h2 attacking the h7 pawn, and rook to h6. And finally in this position Arjun Erigaisi resigned the game, as after rook cross h6, g cross h6, there is no way to stop this h-pawn war. An interesting game. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the game.